right, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to solve by taking square roots when it's not a perfect square. All right, look at this first example. It says x plus 7 squared equals 8. Just like you saw in the previous video, in order to get rid of the square, that exponent of 2, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So that cancels out my squared. I'll bring down my x plus 7. And now the square root of 8, that is not a perfect square. So we're going to go over to the side and break it down. So what times what gives me 8? That'll be 4 and 2. And then I'll go ahead and mark out my 8. Break down your 4 to be 2 times 2. And go ahead and cancel out that 4. And then for every pair, you take one out. So I have a pair of 2s. So I'll take out a 2 in front. And I got a 2 left over. So therefore, it's going to be plus or minus 2 square root of 2. So now I'm going to break it up into 2 separate equations. X plus 7 equals the positive 2 square root of 2. And x plus 7 equals the negative 2 square root of 2. In my first equation, to solve for x, I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides. And since I have 2 radical 2, which is truly a decimal, I'll leave it the way it is. So it'll be 2 square root of 2 minus 7. That's my first solution. And then in the second equation, I'm still subtracting 7 on both sides, but this time I'm going to get x equals negative 2 square root of 2 minus 7. So those are my 2 solutions. All right, let's look at this next example. Same thing like what I did in the first one. I take the square root of both sides, cancel out the square, bring down my x minus 3. As you can see, 12 is not a perfect square. So I'm going to go over to the side and break down my 12. So I'm going to use 3 times 4. Cancel out my 12. 4 is 2 times 2. Cancel out my 4. And then for every pair, you take one out. I have a pair of 2s. So I'll take out a 2 in front with a 3 left over. So I'm now going to have plus or minus 2 square root of 3. Then I'll separate it into 2 separate equations. X minus 3 equals positive 2 square root of 3. And x minus 3 equals negative 2 square root of 3. In the first equation, I have to add 3 to both sides. And that's going to give me x equals positive 2 square root of 3 plus 3 as my first solution. And then over here, I'm going to add 3 to both sides again. But this time, I'm going to get x equals negative 2 square root of 3 plus 3 as my second solution. And that's it!